Hey guys, Dingmamon here. I'm just going to be doing a real basic thing today. I'm going to be taking this Nerf Maverick, and I'm going to be just kind of taking it apart and doing some basic internal mods for those of you who do not actually know how to mod any guns. This is kind of a real basic one to start out with because it's got a few things that are pretty simple, but it'll give you kind of an overview of what modding really does to a gun. So, yeah, I'm basically just going to flip it over and take all the screws out of this gun. There's going to be 3 in this little sliding handle right here, and then there's going to be 1 underneath it in the actual yellow part of the gun, and then there's going to be 3 right here in the handle, and 4 up here at the front. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, once you do that, you're just going to pry it open. I'm going to go ahead and cut to a point where I've already unscrewed this so you don't have to watch me. Here's a real quick clip to let you see, for one, the air restrictors inside, the little pegs down there. Also to let you see how far the barrel's actually dropping out, because that's going to be one of the mods. So, alright guys, as you can see, I've taken out all the screws. There should be 3 little ones like that, and about 8 of those bigger ones. So I've already taken off this top piece. Quick note, this little thing, make sure when you open these 2 up, it's going to want to pop off and fly off. Make sure you keep that if you want to actually use the rail accessory. So, because that's what holds them in place. If not, don't worry about it. But the rest of this just comes apart real easy, like so. Not a whole lot on this side. Set that aside for now, along with these pieces, kind of get them out of the way. So, just real quickly, I'm going to go over some terminology with you so you understand what I'm talking about later. This is the air chamber, and the plunger. This is actually a reverse plunger, so it kind of has the actual nozzle that's pushing the air out. That's where the air is going to come out, is actually the plunger inside the tube. The other way, it would be this being pulled back, and the air hole would be there. That's what a plunger would be, or a direct plunger would be, but I'll not get into that. Your spring is right there. Trigger, rotating mechanism, and barrels. So, not a whole lot of terminology right now. As soon as I open up the barrels, though, we're going to have air restrictors that I'll show you what they look like. They're actually quite useful to keep and use for other detailing on various guns, and as you saw on my last one, the Derringer mod, I used them on the side of the pistol to add a very cool look. So, that's really about it for now. Basically, what I'm going to do is take this out, if I can get that. It wants to stay in. An easy way you can do it is just push that button. It'll fall right out, because that keeps holding it in even after you've opened up the gun. So, basically, what I'm going to do, there are 3 screws around this circle. You have to move this to get around to them. I'm just going to open that up, and I'll show you what it is once I've gotten that open. Sorry, I forgot to mention, you're also going to need a flathead screwdriver for this part, because you're going to want to take it. I'm going to try and do this the best I can with one hand. And just stick it under this. Yeah, I'm really not going to be able to do this with one hand. You're going to push down so that you pry this piece up until the orange piece comes off. Some guns, it happens where that little black piece in the bottom comes off instead. Either way is fine. Just make sure you do not lose any of the pieces. You can't lose this, or the black piece, or the spring that's going to be on the inside of this black piece. Alright? So yeah, I'm going to show you real quick what it's done, because I can't do this with one hand. Okay, so it did in fact turn out that mine was one of the ones where the bottom popped off. This is basically what you're going to get. Sometimes it's the other end that has that on it. Basically this is going to come off. Save that for later. And then be very careful when you're pulling this out. This spring has a tendency to want to pop right off. Keep this is very important. And this. Basically just don't throw anything away unless I tell you to. And make sure you don't lose any pieces. So, assuming you've already removed your screws like I have right there, that I told you guys about a second ago, just go ahead and pop this right off. Comes clean off, real easy. And you'll see a bunch of springs standing up, or sometimes if you don't take it off perfectly clean, maybe one will tip sideways or something like that. Basically, just dump all that out. So, one's being stubborn. Alright. So, and you can see straight through to your barrels. That's fine. So, what you're going to need, see these black pieces? It may be orange in your case, but these little 3-pronged piece, you could trash that. And save one of these little springs that comes out. All the rest of the springs that have come out of these barrels, you can get rid of or keep, your discretion on that. So set one of those aside right over there. So save those pieces. I like to save all these. No. One moment while I pick up pieces. That would have been very bad if I'd actually lost that spring. But anyway, basically, take these orange pieces with the stick on them and save them real quick. We're going to be working on them in one moment. I just gotta clear the other stuff away. Toss it in my handy dandy drawer for now. I'll come back and clean those up later. So what you're going to want to do is just real quickly, some people I don't like to just take the stick off and leave the rest of the air restrictor. I like to get a clean hole straight through it so that it gives you even more airflow, because what this thing was to do was, as the name implies, restrict the air. So I'm just going to go in there with a little hobby knife and some scissors, and real small scissors, and just kind of cut that out. I'll show you what a finished one of mine looks like. Alright guys, I have two different types of way you can do it. My preferred way is completely removing it, but it is not entirely necessary. It just gives you an extra 2 or 3 feet. This one is perfectly acceptable for the air restrictor removal. You just need to get rid of that peg so that it can fire certain types of darts. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and finish making all the rest of mine look like that, because that's how I prefer it. Yeah, so original, where it's acceptable, where I like it to be. Yeah. Also, if you have a Dremel tool, this would be a great time to use it. Be very, very careful with it, as it is dangerous. I know I have several injuries from them, just scars and burns and things like that. So yeah, use caution, but just get rid of that pole and make a hole bigger if you want. Alright. Alright, so I got all my stuff finished. Basically now all I have to do is just put them back in. Just flip them over and pop them back into place. So, just letting you know, cutting these things out is probably one of the most boring things you could ever do. So I suggest getting maybe some music you like listening to, or have somebody there to talk to you while you're doing this. Although probably most of you doing this will be doing this at home alone. Yeah, because who likes Nerf mods? I do, but yeah. Oops, drop that. Yeah, like I'm listening to the Shaft podcast on my iPod right over there, because it's a video game I like playing. So it's just kind of stuff that keeps me focused on something else, so I don't have to focus on how mind-numbingly boring all that was. So put those in. Take this. Make sure you line up the screw holes with the little pegs. So there we go. And then you can go ahead and take your, let's see, 3 little screws and screw them back into these holes, and you're basically done with this for now. So one moment, I'm going to take a moment and screw those back. Alright, so I finished that, putting that back together. Next, you're going to take this front piece. This was actually down there on the front of it. What you're going to want to do, see this nub? You're going to want to cut it off, sand it, file it, however you want to get rid of it. Make it flat. Do not let that nub be there anymore, because that's part of a drop-down barrel mod where, as I showed in the clip earlier, this only falls down so far when you're reloading, so it only shifts about that much. When the drop-down barrel, it just opens it up a lot more so you can reload. So, yeah, that's basically all I'm going to be doing. So you need to file this down, sand it, cut it, whatever. I'm going to be using my knife again. And then also, this little nub right here needs to be sanded square, or filed square, cut square, however you want to do it. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm going to cut to a clip where I show you what I've done. Alright, so that's what it looks like now. Just flat right there, and then as you can see, flat right there. Basically, I didn't show you this, but what I did is I took the plunger tube out like that, so it slides in real easily now when I'm not covering the air hole. But I basically just took some petroleum jelly, Vaseline, and spread it around the inside to lubricate it. So it's a lot smoother now, a lot faster. That's going to give you a better air seal as well. So ultimately it's going to help make your gun fire farther. I took my spring and just stretched it a little bit. You don't want it too much because you still want it to fit in the gun along with the air compressor. The last thing that basically I've done all the mods that I needed to for this. The last thing that I want to do is, you're going to be really surprised, but it's just simply taking, let's see, let's see, yes, my vast collection of books. No, you don't need a vast collection of books, you just need 3 pennies. And basically what you're going to do is set them right there at the end of the spring. So, really, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and put all the internals back into it and show you one last show of that so you know where everything fits together. Oh, remember, actually real quick, I'm going to put this back together so that you know how to do this. Let's see, where'd I put that rod? There. So, we're going to need this, and this, okay, wait, I forgot one piece. This is something that you're going to be adding to it. You take one of the air restrictor springs from earlier, remember how I told you to save one? Set it right there in that little loop. This is just going to make it a little more smooth when it's twisting. Let me see. One sec, I just gotta get this to line up correctly so it'll go through both ends. There we go. So you'll see it'll give you a little bit of tension, but not a whole lot. Flip that upside down. Alright, and on this side, you're going to want to put that spring that I had you save earlier, because you're supposed to keep it. Push that in. Set that black piece in there, like that. and you're going to need to hit it in with a hammer, press it in with a screwdriver, some way you need to get it back on there. I'm just going to use a screwdriver real quick. I can't do that with one hand again, so I'll switch real quick. Alright, so I used my little hammer that I have right there, just pounded that back in. It's right there. You can see air restrictors are gone. That's filed off. Alright, just real quickly, slide that into place. And you may have a little bit of trouble with that mechanism. Oh, I actually didn't have trouble with it this time. So it should slide right in and lock back into place. Gosh, again, all this is real hard doing it with one hand, but yeah, there. I think I got that in right. Almost. Make sure that this little air tube is lining up correctly in the slot where it goes. Other than that, let me just put it in real quick with two hands. So. Alright, I've put that back in. Just a quick note on the penny mod. You don't have to use 3 pennies. I use 3 because that's the right balance for me. I would say no more than 4, because otherwise the gun's not going to be able to pull back and lock correctly. But you can use 2 or 1 or none if you think it's good enough without it. But yeah, that's basically all the mods that I'm going to do to this. I know some people like to glue a bunch of pennies or weights down here to kind of even the gun out a little bit. I personally don't. So, but basically that's it. So when everything's finished, just close the gun back up, screw all those screws in. I'm not going to make you watch me do it. So one moment, let me switch to the final product. Alright guys, well I have finished the mod. Just quick reference. See how much farther the barrel drops out, and you can see the air restrictors are gone. You may notice that it is slightly harder to pull that back now, to load it, but that is because we've extended the spring and compressed it more, which means you will actually be getting a lot more power out of it. So yeah, just to verify that it still works, I'm going to go ahead and load this up with a couple of darts real quick. Excuse me while I load. Just got to get it loaded up real quick. So I've loaded 3 darts in there. They look like this. They're the micro whistlers. Anyway, so 4 of them now. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just gonna do a real quick test just to show you it still works. Oh, whoop. Guess I didn't. Oops. One moment. There we go. Ready. I'll just leave it there. There we go. So as you can see, all 4 darts are gone, and most of them are still up here. Yeah, so that's about it. Thanks for watching this basic mod video. I just thought I'd put it out there because I keep mentioning modding and I hadn't ever really given an example. Also, I had a couple friends who wanted to know how to mod, and I just haven't had time to sit down and teach them, so now there's a video for them. There you guys go. Modded Maverick. I'm probably going to be doing a project with this one soon, so look forward to that. Bye.